welcome back to Proud Masculine. I'm Joe, and today's video is going to be another viewer question. This is from Roberto, asking, what does he do if he's been blocked, if his ex has blocked him and no contact? And so I figured on this beautiful Easter Sunday, I have to make a little bit of a commute, so I could use this time to address it. So before I start, Roberto, thank you. I really appreciate the participation. You know, in comments, anything in the comments and likes, that really helps to improve the algorithm, helps build the channel, and it actually reaches more people. So that's a huge help, and thank you. And as promised, if you ask a question, request a topic, I will get to it personally. So, without knowing every little detail about the situation, on the surface, typically you're going to get blocked when you're broken up with, when the dumper announces the breakup, and you're not giving them the space, or the dumpee is not giving them the space. And they insist on calling and questioning. Then look, it's not exactly healthy and a display of high value behavior, because obviously you've run into the breakup for a reason. There's some point where there's more negative experience associated with being with you than there is positive. Right, wrong, or indifferent, this is from a dumper's perspective. And as dumpies, we want answers. We want to be able to explain to them why it's not a good idea to do that, and try to change their mind, try to apply logic to an emotional decision. And all the while, it's not exactly easiest thing for a dumper to have to make that decision under normal circumstances of a breakup, where it's just there's been a pattern of some display of shit behavior, whether it's neediness or not being able to control your emotions, bad communication, just bad experiences, a string of arguments, you know, just a build-up, an accumulation of negative experience that leads to the breakup. And so they're already there. And to mind you that they've gone over this in their head many times. They've relived this breakup and visited the idea of breaking up with you long before the breakup ever happens. And that is because it's a difficult decision, and more so difficult to actually go through with it. And this is why I highly suggest, you're broken up with, give them the breakup. And again, I've said this in many videos, nobody is taking a proactive approach and watching YouTube videos about what to do if you ever broken up with and how to handle that. Typically, you're in a panic, you're experiencing severe separation anxiety, it's you're going through the shit part of the breakup, the heartbreak and the anxiety and the dread and all the negative emotions and experiences that come along with the breakup. And you're desperately searching for answers. YouTube, you find a video like this, but then you're also desperately looking for answers from the dumper. Why? How could you? Then you want to try to explain your way back together. And it just gets to a point where the more you pursue and badger and hound and look, like the less time they're getting to just sit with the breakup and process what they did and what happened, and really experience what it's like being without you. The more you pursue, call, showing up at their work, showing up at their house, driving by, doing all that crazy behavior, I've done it. Every client I've coached has done it. It is what it is. You can't undo it. But the more of that behavior that is displayed, the further away they get, the more closed off they get, to where you're just reinforcing why it was such a good idea for them to break up with you in the first place. So every time you do that, you're just putting a notch in the category of they made a good decision in their favor. Eventually it gets to a point where they're so pressured, stressed, angry, you know, they're upset too on a level, and it just gets to be too much, and you're not respecting your decision, so now you're blocked, because what they're saying to you is just not getting through. What's being said is just leave me alone, move on, you know, whatever the whole speech that a dumper will say, this just isn't working anymore, I need space, you know, all these things that are being said from a dumper to the dumpee in the beginning of the breakup. They're not listening, they're not adhering to, and it gets to a point where nothing they're able to say to you you're listening to, or nothing they're doing is working, so you get blocked. What do? You just leave it. You've done enough. Now, after they block you, if you go beyond that, you're pushing the bar into restraining order territory. Like, you're treading dangerous ground at this point. And if there's any hope of you rekindling and having your ex back, you've got to stop doing that now. If you're blocked, that is a clear message to leave them alone. And that's it. And I know in the beginning, if this breakup took you by surprise and you caught off guard, you know, even though when you clear your head a little bit, you look back, you can see it leading up to that. But in the beginning, you're not really going to think to yourself, and this is the place you want to arrive, and this is why I say no contact, do the work, focus on yourself. Like, why would I want to chase somebody who's rejected me? Why would I want to give that person the satisfaction? Why am I going to try to convince them to take me back? You don't want that person back under those circumstances. And there may be instances where you are able to coerce this person back into your life. But it's not going to be the same. You're going to be on edge. They're constantly going to be looking for you to fuck up. Like, you're going to be under this microscope. Everything you do is going to be looked at, judged, and analyzed through the lens of a cautious lens from them. And it's not going to be easy. And at the end of the day, you've done no work. They've done nothing. Everything's on edge. And you break up again anyway. And it's typically a worse breakup than it would have been initially. So, simple answer, and I don't know your whole situation, and if you want help with this, because this is a very common thing, you need my help, proudmasculine.com pricing. You can also reach me on Instagram at proudmasculine, send me a DM. I also have a email, proudmasculine@yahoo.com. All this will be in the description, by the way. And if you found this content and any of my messages valuable, I also added a donate button. You can donate to the channel. Well, donate link. And it only serves to help me grow the channel. Production value, and more time to do more videos that help people. Because I know this stuff is valuable and it helps. Save you a lot of trouble. But for me to give you a better answer, and have a clearer understanding. I'd have to know the situation in more detail, obviously. And like I said in the beginning, this is a broad overview of, you know, the common reasons why you get blocked. And look, there's also times when they block you for themselves, to remove the thought of you because it's difficult. That is real. You know, that does happen. To where they will block you on social media, and block your phone, any messaging apps, any way you have to contact them, so they can get you out of their head. Because it's hard and it's difficult for them. Because they're missing you and they don't trust what they're gonna do. But look, move on. You've been blocked. Stop the behavior now. Because the next step is restraining orders, getting the law involved. Then you've essentially turned into some creep stalker. And that is not a good look. That is not a good look from them. And it's not a good look looking back at yourself in the mirror. That's desperate. That screams of desperation and low value. And if there's any chance of getting your ex back, at some point, there's got to be, you're going to have to be viewed from them as high enough value. But, and that's it in short. I mean, look, it happens. We've all made those mistakes of over pursuing and going, like, and in the guy's mind, our answer, our solution to this problem is to attack it, to take action, do the work. I see a problem, I gotta solve it. And that's actually the quickest way to push them away and lose them and get your ass blocked. You know, it's kind of contradictory, but if you want results, you do nothing. Well, you don't do nothing. You leave them alone. You go work on yourself. You go do the necessary work. And I have other videos about what that looks like and what you should be doing. And also, you know, if you really want help to make sure this doesn't happen again, let me help you with this. Call me for a one-on-one consultation, and I'll tell you exactly what to do and how it applies to your situation directly. The more information I get, the more help I can be. But, well, that's it for this one. I hope it helped, Roberto. See you on the next one.